If they get on the phone with you and you have no energy, you don't care, and you're running a script, they're gonna go, this is exactly what I thought it was. It's fake, they don't care about me, and I'm out. It's just like every other company. But if they reach out and they have an impactful phone call and they feel like that you really care and you wanna help them change their life, they'll spend whatever it is. Whatever they have in their bank account, they'll give it to you, as long as they feel like you're the person that they can take advice from. And I'm like, dude, I wanna sell cars. And he's like, you got a driver's license? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you're hired, come in tomorrow and you can start selling cars. So I start for 6 months, I make zero money. My 6th month, the general manager comes up to me and he goes, hey, we got a quota. We got a quota where if you don't hit a quota, you're fired. So when you don't sell 8 cars this month, I'm gonna fire you, I'm gonna embarrass you, and you're gonna be out of my hand. And something about that pissed me off. Like I got emotional. And I was like, you're a piece of shit. I'm gonna show you what the fuck's up. So I went home and I looked up Andy Elliott, and bam, these videos pop up. After I saw those videos, that next month, I went out and I made $10,000. I sold 25 cars. My store was like, what the fuck just happened? And I was like, what happened is I was one person before that happened, before you said that to me, that you wanted me to get fired, and I'm a different person now. And I'm a new person. Never, since then, that was 4 years ago, I've never made less than 10 grand in a month.
Yeah, so I told him a little bit about you, Brendan. I said you're the number 2 guy in Elliott Summit. Are you number 1 or number 2?
Number 1, bro.
Number 1? I got that. I thought, wasn't Chris number 1?
He was number 1.
What?
Well, here's the deal. Chris and a few other guys have been there for 4 years.
Yeah.
I've been there for about 2.5. And then last month I took first. And I plan on keeping it. Plan on keeping number 1.
How much did you sell last month?
Did close to 600 grand, raking it, dude.
And what does that consist of? What kind of products did you sell?
Dude, a very wide variety. So to just give it to you simple, I'll sell anything to help someone change their life.
Right.
Started out for me, I sold
because like we were talking about this, me and Sil, we're selling stuff that we believe that it's going to help people, that it's going to change their life. If we don't believe in the product, it sucks. It's kind of like we've had 18 masterminds here already. 18 of them. They all pay $7,500, some $5,000, and it's 18 of them. We've gotten like 1 or 2 people that haven't liked it. That's 180 people that have came. So it's a product that works. A lot of people leave.
They didn't pay for it.
And whatever the bullshit excuses.
Dude.
They're just stupid.
The boss paying for it, the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Worst thing ever.
Most people, they leave and then they get the inner circle, which is a 30K mastermind.
Yeah.
And then most people, they leave and they're like, oh my God, I tripled my business. I did this. So it's a product you believe in and it works.
Yeah.
So that's why you sell it, because it's unethical for you not to force them to fucking commit.
Dude, well, here's the deal, right? Let's say you sold 10 masterminds with Albert. There might be 9 people that come in and get okay results because they're lazy. They don't really have what it takes. But you give everybody a chance.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna pass up. Like if somebody reaches out and they say, dude, I want to change my life, I want to get close to Albert, give them an opportunity to get in the room. Help them, close them on having the courage to spend the money. Because like let's look at it like this, right? Who's gonna be their mentor? Who's gonna be their coach whenever they sign up? That handsome semi-bald dude over there, right? That good-looking cat right there. So Albert has built like several multi-million-dollar businesses. He's got a badass team, amazing wife, amazing family. So what did he do? He's taking hella risk, right? Like, is he taking a lot of risk to get to where he's at? We call it entrepreneurial courage. So like first thing I'll tell you to say, that you want to say on the phone to people, dude, all I want to figure out on this call is entrepreneurial courage. The more capital you can invest into yourself, the faster you're going to get where you want to go. What we call it here at Albert's office is turning decades into days. Do you know what that means? That means this. That means what took Albert a decade to learn, he's going to teach it to you so you can go do it in the next 90 days. You guys like that?
Yeah.
Sound good? See, like, I'll give you guys a couple keys, like some easy stuff to just start off with, like some basic fundamentals. First of all, no one gives a fuck about you, right? No one cares about you guys until you build your brand, until you put in the time and effort Albert's put into building himself. But the whole time you work for the Preciado family, you should be self-developing, because the more you build your brand, the more it's going to build Albert. The more it's going to show, dude, Albert created a hero-making machine where like people can come and be around Albert for 90 days and they get a 6-pack, they get rich, they get all these nice cars, these nice houses. Like, dude, I got to get close to Albert too. You're a testament. So like, you know, my man on the end here, Nemo, dude, from an outsider looking in, like if I were to walk into this office, I'd say, dude, that's your top guy right there. I know it. You know why? The way he walks, not even what he's wearing, the way he walks, the way he shakes my hand, the way he gets everybody fired up. you got to be wanting to be that guy every single day. You can't be that dud in the room, right? This is a self-development company. So like when people pay him big money to get trained, but you get it for free. So the question is, since it's free, are you going to value it, or are you just going to take it for granted? Are you going to go home at night and be like, thank God, man, I'm home finally. Such a freaking drag of a day. Or are you like, dude, I got to freaking change people's lives. I'm getting an opportunity people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. And I'm going to learn from a dude who's been around all the top entrepreneurs in the world. Like, let me be a freaking human sponge and soak all this up. That's what I did, right? When I'm around, when I went out 2 years ago, like with them to Driven, I was like watching the way Albert moved. I was thinking about how he set up the event. Like I was always thinking like, dude, you know, what can I learn from this? You have to stay a student forever. I'd write that down. Stay coachable, stay a student for the rest of your life, every single day. And you know what's funny? I will give you guys, like I could give you guys a bunch of golden nuggets that have helped me. But here's the thing though. You're going to say them on the phone. They're going to be very good word tracks for you guys to close more deals. But you know what would be awesome? If you didn't just say it on the phone, you actually lived it. If you became the content. You see, like, because like all the time, Andy's on social media, like totally recreate, do this, do that. If I'm on the phone with you and I'm telling you like, dude, you got to freaking recreate, you got to freaking do all this shit. But I don't sound like the person that you want to be. I got no chance at helping you. Because you're like, dude, clearly Albert's shit doesn't work because you're calling me, but you sound like a freaking dud. You sound like you freaking just ate a big old Subway sandwich. You know, you sound like a soggy piece of meat. You know what I mean? So you got to represent Albert. You got to be the content. So how does he carry himself? Bold, marketing himself, takes action. Does Albert give a fuck what he says and what people thinks about him?
No.
So should you?
No.
You guys got to be calling people like, what's up, dude? How you doing, man? You know, like that's literally the energy, like the winning energy. And another thing that I'll tell you. So do you guys talk to people in California a lot? You guys talk to people locally?
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to know my number one closing tool? So you have a strategic advantage. You got to really look around, right? Who's your competition? Your competition is these other coaching programs that are online. They have big brands and they run a fuck ton of ads, but they don't have an office. They're at their house closing fucking deals in their underwear, and they haven't built anything that's admirable. So you know what you say if somebody's like, dude, I don't know, man, I'm thinking about doing Albert's program. I'm thinking about doing this. Bro, I know exactly what we need to do. I'm the type of person where I got to see something to believe it too. Why don't you come by our office, dude? We've got a 20,000 square foot office up here with freaking 20 fire-breathing dragons, bro. You can come by. I'll personally introduce you to Albert, and then me and you can sit down and make a game plan. Because you know what happens when people see an office? They're like, oh, fuck, he's real. The team's real. Albert's real. Like, he's a real dude. You know, like, you guys might not get this anymore, but people get starstruck when they see him. He was at our conference room a week ago. He goes up on stage. People go, ah! Like, they were throwing freaking bras and, you know, like, they went, dude, Sil was the damn celebrity at our freaking conference room, bro. Like, they were going psycho. But let's talk about, you know, what would you like me to cover with these cats, man? You want me to talk about sales, closing? Like, what are we selling here?
Yeah, well, how do we make everybody like a good salesman? Because
you guys have scripts to go off of?
Yeah, like I'll give them our sales process.
So for example, like last month by myself, I did $250,000. Mm-hmm. Just selling, being live and DMs and making phone calls because like I got to do what I got to do. So that's besides running the businesses and a bunch of other shit. Right? So like he was the first one that joined. The first month he didn't sell anything, and he was struggling with $67 ticket sales. And then he got it, and then he started selling bigger tickets, which I think gave him that confidence, and then he sold more. Yeah. To the point where last week he got a check for $12,000. The week before that, another check for about $7,000. But how do we get everybody to be on that level? And how do we get him to get to that next level? How do we get him to be doing like
50K
15,000 a day in sales?
100%.
And so what I find it's very easy, or not easy. I mean, it's hard for people to sell 3 $67 tickets in one day. Yeah. How can they? Why can't they believe? Like, Andy Elliott sells $30,000 cold plunges, or how much are they?
Whatever people are paying, bro.
See what I mean?
Stock price right now is roughly 30.
So
yeah,
they sell. I think you just somebody made that up, right? Somebody made that up, and now you sell more.
Dude. Chris guy was like, I want a cold plunge and hang out with Andy. He was like, dude, 30 grand. And the guy's like, dude, let's go.
So what I want them to understand, but hear it from somebody else because of what you said, like they whether they accept it or not, or they don't like it or they don't believe it, I don't give a shit. Like they take me and Sil for granted. So like you said, we're celebrities, we're a big deal. We've been in business for over 12 years as business owners. Yeah. And people here, they take us for granted.
100%.
And people in the company. So they don't realize that. So when we tell them things, now it's almost like we're evil, we're bad people. Yep. And then somebody else like you comes in here, and then they're like, oh. So like how do we make them understand that, hey, besides everything, we want them to win, but we can't force you to win. And it's easier to sell an expensive product than a $67 product that's going to get a chargeback. Yep. So like, why can't you believe it? It's $7,500 for the mastermind. It's only 10 people. It's very intimate. We should be selling that for 10 grand. But how do we get people to like believe it so that they can sell it? Because if you don't believe it, you can't sell it.
100%.
Like if I was selling myself, like I could sell myself for, I don't know. Like a prostitute me, whatever. But how do we get everything?
Yo, clearly you're good at selling yourself, doing $250,000, you know? So, but yeah, so to answer your question, so like, here's the way I like to do it. There's a couple things, right? Like, first of all, I'll walk you through like some of the main things we look for in salespeople. And this is the traits of like all the highest performers on our team. Because there's more than just closing, right? Like you ask, how does someone pay 30 grand for a cold plunge? Well, that wasn't the first product he bought. First, he bought a $1,000 product and got $10,000 worth of value. He's going to spend the $30,000. We're going to give him $100,000 worth of value. And then after he feels like he's received that value, we're going to offer him a product for 500 grand and we're going to lock him up, right? So I'll tell you guys a couple things. Number one, the number one thing that, you heard he had a good week. And is he on fire? Like from you guys seeing him, is he on fire?
Sure. Yeah, but you know what I like about him is he'll I could see that he puts himself down. Yeah. He gets mad, like he gets angry. Because I know that he knows what he can do. So when he has a bad week or a bad few days, he's angry, which I like. Like you should be angry.
You absolutely should.
I like the passion.
Yeah, 100%. Belief and caring is like number one. And some of you guys are probably like, oh, that's gay. Dude, show me your bank account. And then we can talk about it. But belief and caring. Like this guy, what happened to him? Like think about that. He went from selling $67 tickets, couldn't even get a yes, to selling, making $12K in a week. Same thing happened with me. Like when I first started working for Andy, he puts me on the phone. He goes, here's the deal. You're going to call and you're going to sell these memberships for $99. And I could barely even sell those. Right. And then last month I closed like 4 people for 100,000 plus, right? How does that happen? Well, it's belief and it's caring. It's seeing the vision. Like what's cool about working for Albert is this. If you guys were working for someone who didn't think big, then you'd be screwed. And I'd tell you to run out of here because your dreams would not fit inside of his dream. But what he wants is similar to what the Elliott Group's created, where Andy wants me to be an influencer and inspire millions of people and be a multimillionaire. He wants the same thing for everybody else on our team. That's what they want for you guys too. So a main benefit of this is the person, I would write this down. There's the person you're going to become by building a machine, building a life, working for these guys. There's the people you're going to impact.
The person you're going to become.
Yep. There's 3 things I'd focus on. There's the person you're going to become, the people you're going to impact, and then the amount of generational wealth you're going to create. Because you got to think about this, right? First of all, let's talk about the coaching business for a second, right? This is $1 billion a day industry.
Can you repeat the 3 one more time?
Yeah. Person you'll become, the people you'll help, and then the amount of generational wealth you're going to create. That's like the 3 things that are why you should be present while you're in this room. Because the coaching business is $1 billion a day industry. You guys know that? $1 billion a day. So you got to ask yourself, where's that? Why is that falling through your fingers? Like you guys are talking.
$1 billion a day is being sold.
$1 billion a day in personal development. It's being closed every single day.
You'd be surprised with my women's coaching. I'm like, people that are like older, like they don't know basic stuff, and I was like shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. No, really. You know, but
facts.
that lady that complained, she's
Yeah.
like all in love with me now. She's like, I was thinking about you all week, and I started my book because I'm like, start the fucking book. Like you talked about writing 2, let's start by writing 1. She was like, oh, I was like, what? So crazy.
Well, like that's the power of like a coach and a mentor. Is like, you know, these people look up to Sil and Albert. So, you know, when like, let's say you're talking to a guy and he's married, his wife might have been telling him for the past year that he needs to get his health in check. But if he pays you for a coaching call, gets in front of Albert, and Albert's like, bro, you're a fucking pussy, get a 6-pack.
Yeah.
He'll go do it because Albert told him to do it. But he won't do it when his wife's been asking him for a whole year. So that's how easy this information can fucking change somebody's life. So first things first, you have belief in caring. And then here's the number one thing. Like everybody asks me, like, how did you beat these guys who've been selling for longer than you? It's intuition.
Oh yeah.
It's intuition is what it is. The person who has the most intuition will do the first $500,000 month in this room. I guarantee it. Because I wish I could tell you that when I closed a $100,000 deal, the guy was like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, bro, take your right hand, grab your freaking ball sack, and like, let's go. But it didn't work like that. I talked to the guy when he reached out for a driven event, and I was like, dude, this guy's a freaking badass. And after I got off the phone with him, I sent him a video. I said, dude, I'm going to send you some freaking gear from our driven shop. I'm going to send you a driven cutoff so you can work out, let your arm, see the arm pump with your driven shirt on. When you come out here, I'm going to introduce you to Albert. We're going to make you family. And then while you're here, we're going to talk about how to grow your business exponentially in 2025. Is that what you want? Yes, is what I want. Okay. And then I have a relationship with that guy. You see what I mean? Because you're not going to close $100,000 deals if you're not building relationships. It's very simple. So how does intuition work? It works like this, right? You got to know who's on the other end of the phone. So you have to clearly understand when you're talking to somebody, like, how much are they making? Do they have a family and kids? How old are they? Where do they live at? What's important to them? Why did they reach out? Things like that. Because you're going to talk to those people differently. Like I'm going to take a different approach to you if you have kids and if you don't. Because if you have kids and then we go to the end of the call and I go, hey, the Driven Boot Camp's $1997. And you're like, I don't want to pay $1997. I'm going to say, hey, let me ask you this. How long have you been trying to provide your kids and become their hero? How long have you been trying to do that? Oh, for the past 10 years. And you haven't figured it out yet because you're only making $50,000 a year. You said you want to make $500,000 a year. Is the cost higher for you to do this and spend $1997 on the ticket? Or is it higher for you to continue to not be the hero for your kids? What's more important to you? Oh, okay. So we should probably take a credit card or find some money for this. Am I right? You guys see what I mean?
Yeah.
Different approaches. Now, if a guy makes $250,000 versus if he makes $10 million a year. If a guy makes $250,000 a year and he goes, I don't want to spend $1997. Verbatim word track. Bro, all good? Let me tell you how we're going to do this. Are you right or left-handed? Good. Take your right hand, grab your ball sack, and pay the $1997 because you said you want to be a millionaire, but you're not acting like a millionaire right now. You're having amateur mindset right now. We need to take you from the scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset. Now, I wouldn't say grab your balls to a guy who makes $10 million a year because that guy has spent millions to make $10 million a year. So if he gives me an objection, it's one or two things. Either he doesn't realize that we're the solution yet, or there's a legitimate reason. Like maybe he's got to talk to a partner or he's got to come up with the money or something like that, right? So let's say I pitch Albert's $100,000 yearly mastermind to a guy. And I know he makes $5 million a year. He says he's got $1 million in the bank. I don't want to do it. Dude, it's all good, man. Look, this is very simple. I know you spent millions of dollars to get to where you're at, so I know you're probably not scared. You're not scared to spend the money. It's probably you're wondering if there's going to be an ROI or there's something else. Would you mind telling me which one it is? Is it that you don't think Albert can take you to the next level, or is it that there's something else that I don't know about that we should figure out? Well, dude, it said, I just don't know if Albert can get me the results. No problem. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me put you on the phone with Albert tomorrow. Let me book you on his calendar for 15 minutes. I promise you by the time you get off this call, we're going to need to give you a new birth certificate. We're going to change your fucking name, bro. Because you're going to be fired up when you talk to Albert. He's just like that. You guys see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you figure out where exactly they're at. You tell, like, the reason we don't use exact scripts, I wish I could be like, hey, here's the script. Dial. Grant Cardone's office does that. You guys know that?
Yeah.
Grant Cardone's office and a lot of these coaching programs, they use a script. And you know what's funny? That may work for some people, but we're interested in impact. We're not interested in like just making money. So we need to make sure like the first step of a relationship in coaching, if you're gonna have a successful relationship with a client, you're gonna coach them, the first step is commitment. The first call is so important because the commitment is the most important part. That's why your first calls, that's why you guys are so important, because when these people reach out, they have an itch to change their life. There was something in a video or a live or something that Albert did that made them be like, hey, you know what? Maybe Albert's the guy. Maybe the reason I'm not where I want to be is because I don't have a coach. Let me see what it's like working with Albert. So if they get on the phone with you and you have no energy, you don't care, and you're running a script, they're going to go, this is exactly what I thought it was. It's fake. They don't care about me, and I'm out. It's just like every other company. But if they reach out and they have an impactful phone call and they feel like that you really care and you want to help them change their life, they'll spend whatever it is. Whatever they have in their bank account, they'll give it to you, as long as they feel like you're the person that they can take advice from.